It is Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. And I have to say, looking at the stack of reports we have today, it feels like we're standing on a bit of a fault line.
A fault line, that's a heavy way to start a Tuesday.
Maybe fault line's a little dramatic, but there is definitely a vibration in the air. We're looking at a collection of updates from TechWorld Bangladesh today that really captures this specific moment in time.
I see what you mean.
It just feels like the ground is shifting under our feet with how we use our devices.
It's that tension, right? Between utility and, well, vulnerability. Our tools are becoming incredibly powerful, but that power comes with new price tags.
Right.
Some are financial, some are about our privacy, and some, like we'll see today, are about our security.
Exactly. It's the digital balancing act. On one side, you have Google putting out this huge warning about a new virus that sounds, frankly, terrifying.
And on the other,
WhatsApp is handing us a new shield to hide behind. And then, sort of in the middle of it all, OpenAI is just fundamentally changing the deal we all thought we had with ChatGPT.
it's a messy landscape, but, you know, that's why we're here, to parse through the noise.
So here's the mission for this deep dive. We're going to break this down into, I guess, three main buckets. First up, the security landscape, and specifically a nasty piece of malware targeting Android users that you really need to know about right now.
Okay.
Second, the user economy, how monetization is creeping into our AI, and what new privacy features are actually worth, turning on.
And we shouldn't forget the third bucket, which is probably the most actionable part of the whole stack, personal strategy.
Right, the digital hygiene section. But I don't love calling it hygiene. That sounds like brushing your teeth. It's more like a digital asset management.
I like that.
We're going to talk about how updates to LinkedIn and YouTube are actually tools for survival in this competitive job market.
Survival might be a strong word, but competitive advantage.
Absolutely. Okay, let's not bury the lid. I want to start with the scary stuff, because I'm looking at this report about Google and Android, and my blood pressure is definitely spiking a little. The headline is about a remote access Trojan called Rysync.
Yes, this is a significant alert. Google rarely issues warnings this specific unless the threat is, substantial and verified.
Before we get into what it does, can we talk about the name Rysync? It sounds techy, sure, but it also sounds familiar. Like, isn't that a thing developers use?
You've hit the nail on the head, and that is exactly why this is so insidious.
How so?
If you're a Linux user or a developer, you know rsync all lowercase as a totally legitimate, incredibly useful command line tool. It's for syncing files. It's standard issue plumbing for the internet.
So it's supposed to be there.
Precisely.
Yeah.
If you were looking at a list of processes running on your computer and you saw rsync, you wouldn't even blink. You'd just think, oh, my phone is backing up some photos.
But in this case, it's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Exactly. The malware researchers identified, and that Google is now flagging, is masquerading as this tool. But it is not syncing your files to the cloud. It's a remote access Trojan, or RAT.
Okay, let's double click on RAT. I feel like we hear virus and malware all the time, and we just assume it means like stealing credit card numbers. But a remote access Trojan implies something else, doesn't it?
It implies control. Total control.
Control.
Think of a standard virus like a burglar, smashes a window, grabs your jewelry, runs away. Our rat is like someone making a copy of your house key, walking in and just sitting on your couch watching your TV while you're at work.
That is deeply unsettling.
It allows for what we call command and control. The attacker can potentially see your screen, access your files, turn on your microphone, or even install other malicious software. They aren't just taking something, they're occupying the device.
And this is hitting Android specifically.
That's the focus of this particular warning, yes. The report from TechWorld Bangladesh highlights that researchers found this specific strain targeting Android devices. It's getting past some of the usual defenses we assume protect us on mobile.
That's the part that gets me. We always hear, don't sideload apps, stick to the Play Store, you'll be fine. But this suggests the walls are getting easier to climb.
Or the attackers are just getting better at digging tunnels.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that this malware names itself after a system utility shows a real level of sophistication. They know that even if a tech-savvy user looks at their activity log, Rysync just looks safe.
So what's the play here? If I've got an Android phone, do I just throw it in the ocean?
No, please don't create more e-waste. The advice is really heightened vigilance. This warning from Google usually comes with security patches. So, rule number 1, update your OS immediately.
So you've been hitting remind me later.
Stop.
Yeah.
Do it now. And of course, be extra careful about what you download. This Trojan has to get in somehow, usually through a deceptive download or a phishing link. If an app asks for permissions that seem weird, like a calculator asking for permission to access your file system to sync settings, that's a huge red flag.
To sync settings. I see what you did there.
You have to think like they do.
Okay, so that's the open door we need to worry about. Let's pivot to a door we can actually lock. The report mentions a new update coming to WhatsApp, and this one sounds like a direct response to this kind of surveillance.
Yes, this is the IP Protect feature.
Now, I use WhatsApp for everything. Calls, texts, you name it. I usually just think of it as encrypted so I feel safe. Why do I need IP Protect? What's it actually protecting?
So, end-to-end encryption, which WhatsApp has, protects the content of your conversation. No one can listen in.
Okay.
But it doesn't necessarily hide the metadata, specifically your location.
My digital location, you mean?
Exactly. When you make a standard call on WhatsApp, it tries to establish a peer-to-peer connection. Your phone connects directly to my phone. It's the fastest way to transmit data, which keeps call quality high.
That sounds good. High quality is what we want.
It is good for quality. But for that direct connection to happen, my phone needs your IP address, and your phone needs mine. It's like sending a letter, you need the address on the envelope.
And if someone has my IP address, they can figure out roughly where I am.
They can narrow it down to a city, a neighborhood, sometimes even a specific building. For most people chatting with their mom, it doesn't matter. But what if you're calling a stranger you met online? Or if you're a journalist calling a source?
Or you're just a privacy nerd who doesn't want to leave breadcrumbs everywhere.
Exactly that. So this new IP Protect feature changes the routing. Instead of connecting directly to the other person, the call goes through WhatsApp's servers first. The server acts as a relay.
So the other person sees WhatsApp's IP address, not mine.
Precisely. It masks your identity markers. It's a huge boost for user privacy.
Is there a catch? If it's routing through a server, does that mess up the call quality?
Technically, yes, there is a trade-off. Adding a relay point adds a tiny bit of latency. The call quality might not be quite as crystal clear. That's probably why it's a toggle setting you have to choose to turn on, not the default.
That makes sense. It's a choice between max performance and max privacy.
And that is the definition of the modern digital experience, really. You rarely get both. You have to decide what matters more to you in that moment.
I do love that we have the option, though. It feels like for years the tech giants just said, trust us. Now they're actually giving us the knobs and dials.
It's a sign of a maturing user base. People are asking harder questions, so platforms have to provide better answers.
Speaking of platforms providing answers, let's talk about the big brain itself, ChatGPT.
Ah, yes, the monetization segment. I knew this was coming.
This is a huge shift. TechWorld Bangladesh reports that OpenAI has announced plans to add advertisements to ChatGPT.
The free lunch is officially over.
I mean, we knew it had to happen, right? Running these massive AI models costs a fortune. They burn through electricity. But still, seeing ads and ChatGPT in the same sentence feels, well, it feels wrong.
It feels like a violation of the interface, doesn't it? For the last few years, we've treated that blank text box as this, neutral space. You ask a question, you get an answer. It felt academic, pure.
Exactly. It felt like a library. Now it feels like a billboard might be going up inside. The report says this is starting as an experimental phase, just in the US first.
Yes, a pilot program. But let's be honest, experimental usually just means we're testing how much you'll hate this before we roll it out everywhere else.
So play devil's advocate for me. Google search has had ads for 20 years. I search best running shoes. The top 3 links are sponsored. I scroll past them. Why is this any different?
That is the million-dollar question. I think the difference is in the nature of the output. Google gives you a list of options. It says, here are 10 doors, 3 are paid for, choose wisely. You have agency.
And with ChatGPT?
ChatGPT gives you the answer. It synthesizes information into a single authoritative response. If that response is influenced by an advertiser, the line between fact and pitch becomes basically invisible.
Oh, wow. I hadn't thought about it like that. So if I ask, what's the best software for video editing?
Well, and Adobe has bought AdSpace, does the AI just subtly prioritize Premiere Pro in its reasoning? Or does it just slap a banner ad at the bottom? The implementation details are what will determine if this breaks the product or not.
It fundamentally changes the trust model. If I think the AI is biased by money, I stop trusting its advice.
Exactly. It challenges this whole concept of neutrality. We were barely getting a handle on AI bias from data sets. Now we have to deal with AI bias from commercial incentives. It's the user economy in action.
It's going to be fascinating to watch the backlash or maybe the acceptance feel like people in the US are definitely the guinea pigs here.
They're the beta testers for the new business model of the internet.
Okay, let's take a breath. We've covered global malware, privacy routing, and the economic corruption of AI. Let's bring it down to something we can actually control today, the career and lifestyle strategy part.
Yes. TechWorld Bangladesh has a section here that I think is so important. It touches on LinkedIn and YouTube. And at first I thought, okay, boring, update your profile. But you mentioned this is asset management.
I really think we need to elevate how we talk about these platforms. The report explicitly mentions the job market is competitive and that young people are often unaware of how to properly organize or decorate their LinkedIn profile.
Decorate is a funny word. It makes it sound like you're hanging curtains.
I think it's just a translation nuance, but let's reframe it. It's not decorating, it's optimizing. It's SEO for your career.
Explain that. How is my LinkedIn profile SEO?
Think about how a recruiter works in 2026. They aren't reading resumes one by one. They are using their own AI tools to scan millions of profiles for specific keywords.
If you have a skill, say Python programming or crisis management, but you haven't explicitly tagged it in the skills section or woven it into your bio, you are, for all intents and purposes, invisible.
So you can be the best candidate in the world, but if your profile isn't structured correctly, you just don't exist to the algorithm.
Precisely. The report notes that correctly arranging the profile significantly increases your chances of getting a job. This isn't vanity, it's discoverability. It's a low-effort, high-reward action.
I like that. Discoverability. So if you're listening, don't just update your LinkedIn. Optimize it for the algorithm that's looking for you.
Treat yourself like a product that needs to be found on a shelf.
And then there's YouTube. The report highlights the playlist facility, again a feature, and says it's useful for saving videos to avoid the hassle of searching.
Again, this sounds so basic, make a playlist.
Yeah.
But let's look deeper. We are drowning in content. Information overload is the default state of modern life.
Tell me about it. I probably have 50 tabs open right now.
The ability to curate information is becoming a skill in itself. The report frames this for young people, but I see it as personal knowledge management.
That sounds much fancier than making a playlist.
It is. If you're trying to learn a new skill, maybe that Python coding we just mentioned for your LinkedIn, you shouldn't be searching for a new tutorial every single day. You should be building a curriculum. You use the playlist feature to build a library of resources you trust.
So you're moving from being a passive consumer, just watching whatever the algorithm feeds you, to being an active curator.
Exactly. You are taking control of the feed. Whether it's LinkedIn or YouTube, the theme is the same. Stop letting the platform happen to you. Use the tools they give you, the profile settings, the playlists, and use them to structure your own growth.
That's a really empowering way to look at it. And it ties back to the WhatsApp thing too, taking control of your privacy settings.
It's all connected. The Digital Balancing Act isn't just about avoiding viruses, it's about actively managing your digital presence. You lock the doors you want locked, and you open the windows you want people to see into.
I love that. Okay, we've covered a massive amount of ground. Let's try to synthesize this for everyone listening. What are the four corners of the map we just drew?
Sure. Corner one, the threat. The RISync RAT on Android. It's a wolf in sheep's clothing. The takeaway. Update your OS and be incredibly suspicious of permissions.
Corner two, the shield. WhatsApp's IP Protect, a new feature to hide your location metadata. It's a trade-off for call quality, but a huge win for privacy.
Corner three, the shift. Ads are coming to ChatGPT, starting in the US. This marks AI's transition from a utility to a commercial product, and it raises big questions about neutrality.
The corner four, the strategy. Don't just exist on digital platforms, manage them. Optimize your LinkedIn for discoverability and curate your YouTube feed into a personal library.
If you do those four things, you are already way ahead of the curve.
You know, we keep coming back to this idea of neutrality and trust. And I want to leave everyone with a final thought on that ChatGPT news.
Go for it.
We've spent this whole deep dive talking about how we protect ourselves from viruses or how we curate our data. But with AI, we are outsourcing our thinking. We ask it to summarize, to decide, to create for us.
We do.
As that reasoning engine starts taking money from advertisers, do we need to start treating AI answers with the same skepticism we treat a used car salesman?
I think that's the inevitable conclusion. We have to stop thinking of AI as a calculator that's always right and start thinking of it as a media channel that has an agenda.
AI as a media channel. That is going to stick with me.
The era of blind trust in the algorithm is over. Or, at least it should be.
Well, on that cheery note,
Huh?
no, seriously, this is important stuff. It's better to be informed and skeptical than happy and hacked.
Always.
Go check your Android updates, toggle that IP switch if you need it, and go polish that LinkedIn profile until it shines.
And build a playlist.
And build a playlist. Thanks for diving in with us today. Stay safe, stay smart, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Goodbye, everyone.